Hello PlayStation fans! Today we are revisiting the Star Wars Twisted Metal clone, Demolition. In the video game industry, it's extremely common for clones to appear of successful games in order to take advantage of their popularity and gameplay. Twisted Metal was one of the PS1's best-selling series and inspired a plethora of clones with similar vehicular combat. Star Wars Demolition was released in November 2000 on the PS1. It was published by LucasArts and developed by Luxoflux, who had only made Vigilante 8 and its sequel up to that point. This was a vehicular combat series set in the 1970s. LucasArts hired them to create another Twisted Metal clone, using the same game engine but set in the Star Wars universe. The storyline has crime lord and gangster Jabba the Hutt devise a new deadly sport to replace pod racing, which is now outlawed. Some competitors choose to take part in the new sport, whereas others are forced by Jabba. The participants include many bit part characters in the Star Wars films. For example, there's the fat guy that cries when the Rancor dies. And the human cyborg Lobot from Cloud City.
Doing you, pirate, so good to see you.
There's also some major characters as well, such as Darth Maul and Lando Calrissian in his return of the Jedi disguise attire. The vehicles used by characters in the game are amongst the most popular in the films, such as the AT-ST, the speeder bike, and Luke Skywalker's land speeder. The game ravages a number of areas made popular in the films, with Jabba apparently pulling strings to make each event happen. These include the ice planet of Hoth, Emperor Palpatine's birthplace Naboo, and even the Death Star 2. Almost all of these locations have their own inhabitants, such as Wampers on Hoth, and town locals at Mos Eisley. Locations are also full of power-ups, such as the invisibility cloak and the tractor beam. There are 4 game modes. Battle mode, where you can choose up to 4 opponents and a location. Tournament mode, in which you compete in successively harder rounds. The first round has 1 enemy combatant, the second has 2, and so on. You get the picture. Each character has a cutscene for if the player wins, and if the player loses. High stakes, in which the player gambles. Prior to the round start, players are given their odds of winning. A bet is then placed, and the player either receives a payout or has credits deducted based on whether they win or lose. And finally, hunt a droid, in which you must destroy roaming probe droids in a 3-minute time limit. The game was met with average to mixed reviews upon release. Review aggregate websites, Game Rankings and Metacritic gave it a score of 67.75% and 63 out of 100. Many critics agreed that the gameplay is fun, but runs out of steam after a prolonged play. One critic said, "It's like episode 1 itself. All the pieces are there, but they just don't amount to anything." I remember playing this game as a kid, and it was fun in small doses. I remember thinking how stupid it was though that a land speeder could go toe to toe with an AT-ST. Ridiculous, my nerdy head thought. Did you own Star Wars Demolition? If so, let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you don't miss any videos in the future. Cheers!